practicing the art of mysticism. Now, I'm not pretending like I'm an expert mysticism or I don't know how you say it. But I'm getting an inkling of it because it's actually labels. See, labels, we always think, well, this is what that is because this label is there. So people would say, oh, I'm a this and I'm a that and I'm a this. But actually, it's not about the label. It's actually the practice of what we're doing. And what we do repetitively becomes obviously a habit. I developed this program one time called 21 Days to Personal Riches. And personal riches to me meant the richness and fullness of who you really are. This eternal being experiencing God and all the aspects and qualities of our own very own being. And the art of mysticism then is a label, yes, but so it wouldn't be pertaining to any one specific group, but there's, maybe the Sufis here, and you have the Infinite Way over here, which was a Joel Goldsmith who, in a sense, in metaphysics, practicing mysticism. And to me, what it is being revealed to me as, in my experience, is part of my tuning in to nature. Barefoot time is upon us now, and I do go barefooted even during the winter time at different times, just to keep myself out there, or even walking on the snow. I sit on the floor mostly too, and I love having the wood stove fire in this sense, because this is so cool for me, because it helps me get into the fundamentals of the elements, tuning into the elements, the water, being near the water, breathing in the water, realizing the body is made mostly of water. And water likes to dance and such, so we're in a sense water spirits, or we're the spirit of water, or we are that being that water is one of our elements that actually create and manifest in the created realms, you see. So mysticism then is the tuning in, and really you don't have big goals in the sense of you're not trying to be a producer in that sense, to become someone, or to you are realizing that when you're in tune with the divine, that is living in grace. That means that there's nothing to worry about ever again. Even that phrase has been so good for me. There's nothing for me to worry about ever again. And then because you realize that worry is actually a belief in a fear as a reality, as a truth, as a God that has control and mastery over you. So we're then anointing that and giving that power because we say it is, we believe it is, or think it is, and we're accepting that as truth when it's not the truth. What that is a manifestation of a state of being. So to get into experience that there's nothing to worry about, how would you feel? See, right now, what would that feel like? You say, well, I don't know. Try it out. Get into it where you start acknowledging. That's one of the powers of appreciation, to be conscious, obviously, in each moment, because it's like even walking around out here in nature, because the director, Michael, he's got us going up and down and everywhere, and it's so great, all these wonderful little places to go and what we're experiencing in that. But also, unless I am conscious and right there in the moment, that's very easy to trip and fall or something because you're not there. When I did some retreats in Hawaii, back in 1985, I guess, starting then 86, 87, like that, and in Maui. And one of the things we had was we would go to this place where there was this waterfall that was 25 feet into this pool of water. And there was a cliff right there. And so people did use that cliff and jumped into the water. And you've got to be careful because big rocks and everything could be there, and you've got to know they're not there. So anyway, people would then go up to that cliff, and they'd have instruction before is to stay in your body. And when it's time to jump, you jump, but you stay right here in your body. Because what happens is, and most people don't, because they go into their mind of fear and they're not present, so then they belly flop, or they fall and they hurt themselves in some way. So it's a Zen. Remember the Zen in the art of motorcycle maintenance, and there was the Zen of tennis. I remember as a tennis player, when you're actually, and as anything, surfing or just being in the moment, you see, with anyone, is that somehow you're fully in the moment, and you're in that place where you are in harmony perfectly with what's going on, and the ball comes, and your eye and the destination are the same, and there's like a wow, you see. And it's like we have these windows into the divine, into the spiritual, that's possible, which is part of mysticism, that when you're tuned in, you remember and start to notice these moments, these experiences that have come to us that are beyond the regular and the so-called normal, that most people say, oh, that's just your imagination, you made it up, it didn't really happen, but that's not okay. And you have this experience, it's like, yeah. And to me, the things that I've perceived and the gifts that I've been given in that way, that whatever is going to come forth in those moments of these so-called supernatural experiences, these moments, you're getting the taste of the divine. And it's the taste of the divine that calls us to more of the divine. And as we do that, truly we are in a state of divine witness and appreciation, you see. And to appreciate something is to increase it. And people say, yeah, but if I go more into the divine or into the mystic isn't trying to make anything happen. It's the perceiving, the witnessing, the experiencing of the divine as we are already unified with, and being able, then our senses in this realm also become as tuning forks, information receivers in that sense. And it is said in the Vedas that hearing is our highest sense. It goes directly to the self or to the soul. And when we're here in nature, like you can hear the river behind. I remember as a child in the Sierras at night to go to sleep with the sound of the creek. It was like it was rocking me to sleep, to peace, to harmony. It was beautiful, you see. And when we get back into nature instead of further and further into the impersonal, to the machine, to the cement structure, to, I'm saying the metallic, to automate, to all of this. And I say the trap is right here. It's being convinced that to have more of that three-dimensional experience, that fake reality, instead of less of that and more of who you are. And the right use of more is to desire, to experience, and to be really all that you are, but as a willingness to always to be more of who you are. And And at some point, you couldn't be more, because you are the totality. I'll tell you why my body moves forward. It's a really good way. You know, muscle testing. This is with the body in every moment. You lean into yes, and you go away from no. And sometimes I'm talking, and the more it's like truth, and it's resonating. My body goes like this, wah, 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 wah. So it's the body is following the being. You see. So the art of mysticism. And then when we study or read or hear the sharings of mystics, it helps give us some guidelines or some road signs or some, and then when you get a taste of it, when you get a higher taste, you will let go of a lower taste. And before, when we had the taste of fear and guilt and shame and not good enough and hatred and constant anxiety and all that stuff, you know, and mental, emotional torture and all of that. And that statement, there's nothing for me to worry about ever again, as you practice that and really get how would you feel? Because we've been so programmed and however indoctrinated, convinced to believe the veils, the levels of ignorance. That who we are is this physical body that is born and dies. You see. And that you need someone to dominate you, to control you, because you're not good enough. Everyone, every true being, true living entity, spirit, soul, however you call that, is whole, complete, and perfect. I'm not talking about the physical body. I'm talking about your spiritual body and who you are. And by being in that spiritual body and being there, then this is a realm beyond words. Yeah. Jump in to the art of mysticism. It's nice.